All right, looks like it is all good. So let's. Hello, we are live.
Hey Hayden, how's it going, man?
Good. Thanks for joining me today. And
Hey, no worries.
to everyone in the chat, this is Corbin Fraser, and he's the head of the product and financial services, I believe, there at
Yeah,
bitcoin.com.
yeah, that's pretty much sums it up. Yeah, I've been with Bitcoin.com almost 5 years now. I think it's 5 years next month. So
Yeah, it's
yeah, something like that.
been quite
It's
a long
crazy.
time since the
Yeah,
beginning,
yeah,
basically.
yeah. I guess I'm like considered one of the boomer Bitcoin.comers. But yeah, so I started off as an engineer at Bitcoin.com, and then just kind of grew more towards the product management side of stuff, and ended up here at the as a head of financial services, so basically in charge of like all of our financial services products related to the self custody wallet, which is 35 million wallets created. We've got the buy sell swap. We just launched the DEX on Ethereum. Previously, it was launched on Smart BCH as well, and yeah, we're basically just kind of pushing forward on getting this token launched. We've got the token sale that just kicked off November 1st, so just a couple days ago. And yeah, we're kind of hitting our stride right now. So everyone's
Most well known, I'd say, for the wallet application. And as you said, that's got millions of users. Do you know how many specifically it is now? Because I remember it passed the 10 million milestone in recent years. So that was a while ago.
yeah. Yeah, so we just passed 35 million wallets. I think it was like 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Like timed really well with the launch of the token sale. But yeah, I mean, like that's kind of spread out across various cryptocurrencies as well. So it's possible, like within that 35 million, you'll have like some folks that maybe have 2 or 3 wallets. So I think our in terms of like monthly active users, we're regularly doing over 1 million monthly active users. And yeah, like across that, that's kind of spread out across all cryptocurrencies from like Bitcoin users to like Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, things like that.
Yep. And well, with the wallet itself, I think, in my opinion at least, because I've tried a fair few different wallets around the place, and it seems to be the wallet with like the best crypto user experience. So that's one thing you've got going for you guys there as well. And obviously, that's why it's attracted so many different users and so many users.
Yeah, we've really focused on like the product experience. When we started the new version of the wallet, like you've been a Bitcoin.com wallet user for quite some time, so you probably remember the ancient old Bitcoin.com, which was a Cordova fork. So it was like kind of it was built on Cordova, but it was forked off of BitPay's wallet. So it was
Yeah.
kind of it was this like really, it worked, and it was at the time it was actually a pretty sweet wallet. It was one of the only ones that like supported zero conf for BCH and things like that. But we ended up really refocusing our efforts on like trying to rebuild this from the ground up to make it like a mom friendly crypto wallet. We saw a lot of other crypto wallets that just focused more on like catering to the, I don't know, like the crypto natives, the folks that had already been in the space for a long time. And we've got this very valuable domain name. We've got millions of new users coming in on a regular basis to try out Bitcoin, and they're hitting up Google, looking up what is Bitcoin, what is Bitcoin wallets, how do I Bitcoin, and then they suddenly find Bitcoin.com, and they might find us on Google Play, or they might find us on Apple. And we just wanted to make sure that when they come into the space that they're not slapped in the face with hardcore tech talk. We don't want to have every user have to have like a computer science degree in order to figure out how to use crypto. So our designers really kind of focused from the ground up on just trying to make everything as simple as possible while keeping the ethos of Bitcoin and crypto a key part of what we're doing with regards to like non-custodial. All of our users, they all have access to back up their own private keys. We do make it easier for folks. So if they do want to encrypt a copy of their seeds, they can keep them on the cloud. but those are all encrypted and we force very strong passwords. But we also do encourage all of our users to, back up their keys. And yeah, I mean, this is like one of the great things about our wallet is that, Bitcoin.com, we don't have access to any users' funds. We can't touch them. We can't use them. We can't do any funny games with them. It's all held on that user's private key, and we can't touch them. So one of the safest places to keep your crypto. We've got multi-sig. We support 4 different chains right now. We're launching another chain actually in like about a week. Maybe I can leak it later. And yeah, so we're continuing to just kind of get more more utility, more chains, and just start integrating more ecosystems into the Bitcoin.com platform.
Yes, this is good because for a long time it was like just Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, I remember, and then you added Ethereum, and now it's like every month there's some new chain that appears to be being added to the wallet. Like I remember there was Avalanche just recently as well. So yeah, that's good. And now you guys are launching Verse. So this is the token of Bitcoin.com, and well, I'm interested to know how does this token of yours differ from other tokens of, say, other platforms like crypto.com, or is it similar? And well, what's the main value proposition there for people that are interested in Verse?
Yeah. I think I can first maybe speak more to like what is Verse and what we're doing with it. So yeah. I mean, Bitcoin.com has been around since 2015. Started off as a news media site. 2017, we launched a product that was our first big financial services product, and that was the fork of the BitPay wallet. So, since 2017, we've really been focused more on the product development side of Bitcoin. We still, of course, have Bitcoin.com news, which garners millions of monthly active readers. It's regularly in one of the top 3 to 4 most popular crypto news websites. But what we saw is like, we watched in 2017, 2018, all these ICOs, all these different sales happen. And we just kind of sat back and said, this is interesting. There's some cool stuff happening. There's also some sketchy stuff happening. So there was no like mad dash for us to say like, let's just YOLO, throw a token out without really giving it that like careful thought and attention that we felt doing a token actually deserves. So, there's a lot of projects that end up just like launching a token and they say, yeah, we'll build it later. We'll figure it out later. We're going to launch a token and you guys are going to give us a bag load of money and we're going to promise some stuff in a few years. And, maybe someday you'll get something. And sadly, what we saw a lot in 2018 was like, some people just didn't deliver. And, it in many ways, yeah, it really kind of tainted the whole idea of token sales and ICOs. And then you started seeing all of these like, evolutions of the ICO. You started seeing people move to like IDOs or IEOs. So an IDO was an initial DEX offering, or IEOs was an initial exchange offering. And they were all basically the same thing, wrapped up in a different name to try to like soften the image that was like ICOs are scammy and IDOs are somehow not scammy and IEOs are somehow not scammy. But it was kind of this progression to like try to mature this idea of sell some tokens, build out a community around the token and provide this like utility for buyers and users. I think what we saw was like, we could have launched something earlier, and there certainly was talk internally of maybe we should, but we never did. And we said, let's hold back. We don't need to rush this. Let's just keep building. So we built, our wallet. We went from having like, under 10 million wallets up to 35 million wallets. We've just seen like continuous growth, bull or bear, largely thanks to, the domain name that we've got. We do really well with like organic SEO across, different app stores and across Google and things like that. And really we've kind of said like, we're at a point now where we've got the ecosystem built. We've got the ability to continue to grow multi-chain. We've got Ethereum. We've got ERC20 tokens. What's the next big chapter and where is crypto heading? So, we kind of said like, let's look towards the horizon. And we saw this as like an opportunity where DeFi summer, emerged. We saw DeFi summer which was summer of 2020, we saw all of this capital moving into smart contracts and decentralized protocols. And we basically were like on the sidelines watching this happen, as Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash users. It was just this like, man, there's something really interesting happening right now. And it was like, I mean, for me, it was kind of like the similar vibe I got when I first got into crypto, which was like seeing this instant payment, knowing that you're like participating in money without intermediaries, but then seeing that evolution of like watching people fund liquidity and have this decentralized exchange that doesn't have intermediaries and removes a lot of the centralization around, trading and exchanging. And it was that same like, whoa, something big is happening. And we talked about that all internally, saying like, let's figure out a way to begin support for this, because something's happening and we gotta be sure we grab onto this thing and introduce it as safely as possible to our users. So it was about would have been sometime last year we ended up brainstorming this idea of like, okay, what can we do? And we ended up taking the Uniswap v2, which is an open source swap protocol from Uniswap, and we basically forked it, built out our DEX around it. And then, we've seen other projects do some similar things with DEXs. We've got, Sushi was a Uniswap v2 fork. I believe Trader Joe's was, various other, very popular DEXs now that are in the top 10, top 20 are all kind of built off some of the same like bonding curve protocols that are all tied to this Uniswap v2 idea. So, we built out the Verse DEX, and we launched this new sub brand called the Verse, and then you can check it out. Yeah, so you got it on the screen there at verse.bitcoin.com. So this DEX is currently available on Smart BCH, which is an EVM sidechain for BCH, and of course we just launched it on Ethereum. We're still ramping up liquidity, so it's still kind of early days. But as a result of us having this DEX, it was also an opportunity for us to do the token. So, we saw the guys from Sushi do some similar things with regards to like adding a DEX farms and adding their token and adding rewards and reward mechanisms to LPs, which are liquidity providers or liquidity pools. And, we ended up basically saying like, this is our opportunity to do the token safely, to provide the utility that's needed in order to provide the best messaging around launching a token. So it was like, we could have done a token earlier, but it would have been like hard pressed to say how much utility is baked into this token. What we've got with the Verse DEX is the instant ability to say, fund liquidity, earn rewards, and it's a reward utility token. And then it becomes like, well, what else can we build around this ecosystem with the token beyond just DEX? Because for a lot of people still, a DEX is kind of like a bit of a nerd's toy. Like my mom's probably not going to be funding LP. Maybe someday if she's like a big bag holder, she might eventually be like, okay, I got to put some of my capital to work. But she's far removed from like that side of crypto. So, we started building out like, what is the ideal scenario for a reward utility token? And we kind of came across this, there's various papers and various publications on Medium and on Twitter talking about like the utility of reward tokens and how air miles and how these different like reward programs outside of crypto have used rewards as a way to better onboard users and provide that like stickiness. So this is something that we keep kind of top of mind at Bitcoin.com, is like, how do we keep users engaged? How do we level them up from just coming into Bitcoin.com, getting a wallet, buying a little Bitcoin, and then being like, okay, I'm done. And then they never touch the wallet again. They wait until the next bull run, or they, just do the hodl thing, which in my opinion is kind of the most boring thing you could do with crypto. But it's kind of like it's like the zero. It's like starting from zero. Sure, get some Bitcoin, hold on to it. Great. You're now a crypto user. But what's next? So that's where we were like, okay, this Verse token, once we've got, this in circulation, we can begin rewarding our users for taking specific actions that support their onboarding from Bitcoin into other chains, into multi-chain, into DeFi protocols. And like, we jokingly say it's like leading users or leading our rabbits with carrots, right? Further down the rabbit hole. We're just kind of saying, hey, okay, you did your first swap, earn a bit of Verse. You funded your first LP, you earned a bit of Verse. You sent your first crypto to a friend, you earned a bit of Verse. You spent some crypto at a merchant, earn a bit of Verse. You do all of these different actions, and we can kind of create these quest systems within the app where we're trying to create these habit loops where users that are participating in the wider crypto ecosystem beyond just HODL are being rewarded, and creating this like feedback loop of, okay, that was actually pretty easy, and I just made $1 worth of Verse token or something like that. What's next? What's my next quest? So, for us, it's kind of like approaching it from two angles. It's like supporting new users, and it's supporting the DEX LP side of things, and then building out this ecosystem that kind of supports more utility across, all of our users within the Bitcoin.com ecosystem, and just making sure that we're supporting them so that their onboarding journey sucks less than, say, the previous cycles. Because in my opinion, that's still kind of like the hard thing is like 2017 through 2019, like the bear was long, man. Like seeing those
Yep.
different companies kind of like peter out. It's sad to watch, but it is kind of like it's healthy for the ecosystem, and it's healthy for the whole crypto scene. But we got to focus on the retail users if we're going to see crypto grow. And that's where we see the reward side of stuff just being very useful for more people.
Right. So that was a pretty good explanation. And if anybody didn't know what Verse is before, I'm pretty certain they would know now. So it's basically a rewards token for the Bitcoin.com wallet and ecosystem. And it also has some utility for people through the DEX and in other places as well. I don't think you mentioned the part about people will be able to pay for certain things with it. For example, like this is more targeted like crypto businesses and things like that. They can pay to do the advertising and stuff on Bitcoin.com news.
Exactly.
And other such things.
Yeah, so that's like the big thing too, is like any reward token that you create, you want to make sure it's redeemable, right? So you can't just create a reward token and not actually allow it to be redeemed for your services. So when we look at Bitcoin.com services as a whole, media sales is a big portion of it. With Bitcoin.com news, we've got millions of monthly active readers, and then it becomes this. We've got banner ads, we've got some sponsored posts and like press releases on our news site. Businesses come to Bitcoin.com and say, hey, we would like to promote our latest DApp or our latest NFT project. And we say, sure, we can help you guys get some more eyeballs on your project. You pay us X. But what we want to do is make sure that those same folks that are paying us currently in Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash or Ethereum or stablecoins, that they can also pay us in Verse. However, when they pay us in Verse, they're paying us at a discounted rate. So we're basically saying it is in your best interest to pay us back in the Verse token. And the only place where they're going to be able to get the Verse token is on the public market. So they'll have to go to the DEX to buy the Verse, or through one of our upcoming CEX partners, where they'll have to purchase some Verse from that secondary market and then send it to us. And there's this immediate let's say buy pressure that we can create through the use case around our media sales. Beyond that too, we're looking at things like Bitcoin.com store. We still sell t-shirts and mugs and stuff like that. It's an easy place for us to integrate the ERC20 token. So if folks that have maybe earned enough Verse through passing enough quests, at some point they may have earned enough to buy a t-shirt, and they can scoop up a little Verse swag shirt, or they can get a hat, or they can get a mug. And then this also kind of leads us to what we're doing with like the companion NFT. So you may have seen in the white paper and on the website, but we are launching this like companion NFT tied to the token sale. So anyone who participates in the token sale, if you go to getverse.com, a minimum purchase is about $500 worth of crypto. And, once you participate, your address is whitelisted for this upcoming NFT token sale. And the NFT is going to be some unique art that we're creating. We're working with some, really well-known names in the NFT space. including Evan Luza, who's one of the co-founders of Cool Cats. Cool Cats is like kind of one of the blue chip NFTs in the space. If you've ever seen the blue illustrated cat NFTs on Twitter and things like that, those are your Cool Cats. They're very kind of cute, and they've got like cool pets now, and they've built out this whole kind of ecosystem around their NFT. So we've got Evan supporting us, with our NFT, and we've got our own designers as well working on this. But what we see with the NFT as well is like to kind of support some more community building, and also we can do some interesting things with NFTs, right? Like the utility around NFTs has grown a lot in the last like year. So we're looking at things like community access to events. We're looking at things like even offering discounts on things like the store. If you purchase from a wallet that's holding one of our NFTs, you may get a discount. We can also do some like unique contests and kind of things like that around the NFT community. So I think that like that's going to be kind of like the secondary thing around the token sale, and it's more just to kind of build out this community. Let's say like good vibes, which I think in crypto is very much needed. There's often a little bit too much toxicity, but so we just want to create this like multi-chain good vibes community around Bitcoin.com, making it easier for people to hold and use Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, stable coins, Avalanche, EVM chains, whatever chains we're supporting. We just want to make it easier for people to kind of get into those different chains and play around, find those new dApps and Web3 projects that they want to participate in, and just make crypto fun.
Yeah, this is really good. And so with the Verse DEX, did you mention before that this is going to be integrated into the Bitcoin.com wallet, and so all those users are now basically having an easy way to use DeFi for the first time? Previously, it may have been a bit more difficult for the average person.
Yeah, you kind of nailed it on the head. Like for the average person, DeFi is way too geeky. Like, I mean, it's a learning curve. Like, I know you
have to set up a MetaMask and put the right network in and everything like that.
Yeah, it's super sketchy. Like if you were to give that to your mom and dad, they're gonna lose money. They're good. Like if you're like, hey mom, just trust me, mom, it's really cool. Go put MetaMask in, just sign this transaction. It's totally gonna be okay. They're scared shitless of like crypto in general, and then you throw all these complicated DeFi terms at them, and it's just like gloss over the eyes. They're not gonna make it. So what we've been talking about is like, how do we abstract away the DeFi side of things and make it easier for normal folks? I use MetaMask. It's a fine degenerate wallet, but I would not recommend like new users start there. It's a hard wallet to kind of kick off your journey with. So what we want to do is like within the Bitcoin.com wallet, abstract away, chain IDs. We want to abstract away the network selection. So users don't need to think about that. They don't need to go to chainlist.org and find the chain ID of Arbitrum and then import that into the wallet. Those are all stupid crypto things that have become the norm, but are terrible user experience for like most people. Even nerds are like, this is a pain in the ass. This sucks. So we're abstracting away as much of the complicated parts of DeFi by just not requiring users to touch chain, let's say the chain IDs or the network selection. Then in addition to that, within our own swap, within the mobile wallet, we'll be tying in the DEX into the backend. So users may be interacting with just a native application, but behind the scenes, they're actually touching the DEX. So they don't really need to know that they're interacting with this smart contract so much as it's, when they're asking for, let's say they're swapping from, I don't know, Ethereum to USDC on ETH. If they're doing that swap and they're saying, I want to swap 1 ETH to USDC, maybe they're getting like, I don't know, a quote of like 1,600 or whatever the current price is. They see a breakdown of the fees for the DEX fees, and they can basically say, yeah, okay, that rate seems fine to me, slide to send, and they're done. They don't need to connect, to a dApp. They don't need to sign a message. They don't need to do all this like difficult nerd stuff that I think we've all become, it's kind of become the norm.
Yeah.
We're trying to just simplify it for ordinary folks, and remove as many unnecessary steps as possible, so that, you know, when we look at the DEX, it's still going to be there. Like, you go to verse.bitcoin.com. If you're a hardcore degenerate connecting with MetaMask, you're an LP, you live and breathe crypto, you can still do it that way. That's fine. But for ordinary new users coming into bitcoin.com for the first time and saying, hey, I just want to swap and not use trusted intermediaries, they can do that. And then we can kind of provide that like easy point of access to get all, you know, as much of that swap volume as we can from our mobile wallet app into the DEX when it's appropriate. I should say though that, like, you know, bitcoin.com, we've got a ton of Bitcoin users and Bitcoin Cash users. You know, DEXs do not currently support like layer 1 BTC, layer 1 BCH. So that still presents a bit of a, you know, a bit of an onboarding journey that we've got to get users into, either, you know, nudging them into trying out some wrapped Bitcoin, trying out something like smart BCH, trying out some, some of these like different wrapped assets that, you know, basically are one-to-one. But, you know, we've got to kind of support that like extra little jump for them. There are some interesting developments though going on like the layer 1 DEX side of stuff. We've seen, you know, guys like Thorchain and others do some cool stuff around supporting that. But yeah, there's still some kind of like UX hurdles around that, where we're not rushing in to support kind of like everything that's new, because often in DeFi, everything that's new is also, you know, the things that haven't been, you know, totally stress tested yet. And we see that regularly with, you know, some DeFi risks and hacks and things like that. So we're just trying to support the things that have been beat to bat shit first, and we're confident are, you know, able to be presented to the public, and not, you know, we want all the degenerates to use them first, break it, find all the problems, and then once, you know, we're sure that we're dealing with a pretty stable protocol, then we'll include it to our users.
Yeah, well, you can't add everything at once either. You got to start somewhere, and that makes sense. So yeah, basically the public sale for Verse has started now, and originally it was slated for earlier this year, but it was delayed, like due to the bear market. I'm pretty sure it was more better tactical move to do it now. But yeah, it started now as of 2 days ago. How are things been going so far?
Yeah. So you guys might remember we first did the announcement regarding the token earlier this year. Our original plan was to have the token sale kicking off sometime in like July. We completed our sale A. So the sale A portion, that was done in, I think it was May. We did $33.6 million at 336 million FDV market cap. And this was, you know, right in the bull run, basically, prior to the Luna debacle, prior to 3AC. You know, it was the vibes in crypto were like, yeah, tokens, let's do it. It's going to be great. And then, you know, we saw what happened with all the Luna 3AC stuff. And it was just like, okay, we got to let the dust settle and just kind of, you know, see what happens to the market. You know, and our goal was always to say, like, you know, at the end of the day, like the Verse token is dependent on this idea of reward utility, not necessarily the price. You know, what the secondary market determines as its value based on, you know, the market, that's the beauty of the free market, right? Like, we can't control that, but, you know, what we can control is what we can do to get ready for the next, say, bull cycle. So, you know, it's pretty clear. You look around in the crypto ecosystem, it's pretty bearish right now. You know, is this the bottom? I don't know. I'm feeling like this is bottom-ish. So for me, it's sort of like, in order for us to be best set up as a company, as a product, as an application for the next run of millions of new users, we need all of these engagement hooks, these reward opportunities, and we need all of these systems stress tested and beat up, and make sure that they're working, make sure that they're supporting the goals that we have, to grow our ecosystem, to grow our platform. And once we've got all of those things working, we're ready for the next bull cycle, so that once folks start, aping back in, we're there already with these engagement opportunities and reward opportunities to get folks from Bitcoin into more chains and into more, more of the Web3 DeFi side of crypto, and, support their onboarding journey in a better way than we could without the token. So, if we were to say, hey, we should just wait until the bull market, I mean, nobody knows, right? Like you could say, okay, well, it's gone up 20%. Is that the bull market, or is that like a big, is it a big fake out? We've seen that too, where it's like, oh, okay, maybe it's just a little bit of a bull trap. And sometimes you don't know you're in a bull market until it's like 6 months in, and then it's like, okay, if that's it, great. Now we do the sale. It's another month, and then okay, now we got to integrate everything. Okay, that's maybe another month, maybe 2, and then suddenly you're like launching it, but the bull's maybe slowing down, and then you're too late. So for us, it's kind of like, gotta act now. It's about reward utility. It's about engagement, and once we get all of these systems optimized, we're ready for the next bull market. And that's the big opportunity for, I think, anyone participating in Bitcoin.com as a user, anyone buying the token, and seeing the seeing all of the things that we're creating, irregardless of market sentiment. We're saying, let's just keep building, and we've got a 5-year track record of shipping products. So we're not your typical token sale that's shipping promises and rainbows and vapor.
With no track record or anything.
Yeah, we're a fully doxed team. We're registered in a bunch of different countries. We you've seen my mug all over, so someone could hunt me down if they really wanted to. So we're doing it all by the book. But it's we're all just pretty geared up to just make sure that that this is all done as best as humanly possible.
So with the public sale now live, it's got dynamic pricing, and this article you guys published basically explains that. You're selling 2% of the supply. 10% was sold in the private sale A. 4% was sold in private sale B. 16 cents and an 0.0016 and 0.0018.
Those damn zeros.
But then the dynamic pricing works. The price of the token basically varies depending on how much in total has been sold. So with 3 million sold, it's going to be 0.0007 per token. And then if 7.5 million is sold, then it's 0.0018 per token. And 10 million, then it's going to be the price of 0.0024 per token, which is 50% higher than public sale A. So what I've been wondering with regards to this, is there any way for people to view the progress of the sale and see how things are going? Obviously as well, I'm not sure if it says here, but it basically said somewhere that it was going to run for a month. Is that correct?
Yeah, good questions. So the token sale is going to last for 30 days, or if we hit the soft cap limit of 0.0024. So if we bring in 10 million, we're probably just going to wind down the sale. And
okay, we've lost connection right there. Let's see what's going on, if that's just me or if it was Corbin. Get him back on the line. Yep.
Green for a while there, and I was like, something feels wrong.
Yo,
here.
You're back.
Hey, Hayden. Sorry
about that.
So, I blame the commies. It's this damn commie internet, man.
Rewind about 30 seconds.
Sure.
I can't remember the last point you got to. Sorry, I was trying to work out if it was your internet or my internet.
Yeah, it was mine. Damn commies, man.
Anyhow, it's all good.
So I think I was yammering on about the token sale. So I think we were talking about one, the dynamically priced portion of it. So yeah, Bitcoin.com's the public sale is dynamically priced. So it's in this sense, it's like a really fair public sale because it's probably one of the only ones where it's possible for a public sale buyer to potentially get a better rate than a private sale buyer, depending on the performance of the sale. So, in the event that we don't sell out a ton of tokens, those public sale buyers could actually get a better rate than the private sale buyers, which is almost unheard of in token sale history.
Yeah, I haven't actually heard of this dynamic pricing before either. Not that I generally follow this sort of thing. I've not participated in any token sales prior to this one. But yeah.
But yeah, so we've kind of got it set up in such a way that we've got 2% of the supply set aside for the public sale. So depending on the performance of how much we bring in, that'll result in how much tokens each of the participants receive. So that math will all be calculated at the end of the sale. So this is why you don't necessarily know how many Verse tokens you're getting when you make that purchase. You're basically purchasing a percentage of the total amount. So, and then that percentage then is calculated based on the 2% of that total supply that's reserved for the public sale buyers. So, yeah, I think you also had a question regarding, are we going to?
Yeah, how can we view the progress? Like, is there a way to view where it's up to at the moment?
So there is there is an Ethereum address where you do have that public ability to view the performance on ETH, USDC, and USDT. So that's available right now. You can find that in our Telegram and Discord. There's been folks sharing it. Anyone who purchases using those methods will be sending to that ETH address.
Right.
On the BTC and BCH side, because those are all HD wallets, every participant is actually sending to a unique address. So we don't yet have that ability to say combine total amounts and display it in a pretty graph. Our marketing team, though, will be sharing some regular updates to give that status update or that performance update. So I think we're going to be pushing some updates out quite soon regarding that. We have had a lot of folks asking, but I'm curious. Like, I'm guessing this is something that you guys and your viewers would actually want. We'd love to hear from you guys if this is a feature you want us to get out or start sharing more information on. Let us know in Discord or in Telegram, and our team's actively listening and kind of getting feedback. At the moment, though, we're treating it kind of blind in the sense that, right now there's only a few people that in the company that know the performance. And all I know right now is that we haven't hit the mark. So we have not hit the 10 million mark. There's still some room there for, it hasn't shut down. Nobody's told us turn it off. So, yeah, we'll be working on getting more of that information out to folks, because I think that's kind of like the big thing is like people want to know how much room is there. Are they going to get a better price? But then there is kind of that, I don't know, like you might remember the eBay auction, world where it's like, you might see like, I don't know, $100 pair of shoes. And then, there's like a bid on it for like $5. And then there's a bid on it for $10. And then nobody bids on it until like the last 10 minutes. And then you get all these like eBay snipers moving in, throwing bags in, being like, okay. And then all of a sudden the shoes are selling for like, 150 or something like that. So there is like some different game theory aspects to like, if we keep it private, does it help the sale better? Or if we keep it public, does it help the sale better? And what's more fair, I think, is the other thing is like right now we're keeping the total amount restricted to our finance department, very like limited number of people that know the total amount, but we can open that data up and start pushing out updates. So I think if that's something you guys want, come join our Telegram, come join our Discord, spam our channel and be like, we want to know. And we'll figure out a way to get all that information out. Because I think probably a lot of folks would like to know, like, even if it's just percentage, how close are we to the goal of say 10 million?
Yeah, I think if you guys are doing like a tweet every few days or something like that, that's probably fine. But as we know, like the previous sales, they like sold quite a lot. Like, how much in total was it? It was over $33 million worth or something like that.
Yep.
And the target here is only 10 million. So, and it's open to the public. So you can probably assume that there's going to be enough demand to fill that 10 million, I would say. But yeah, we'll have
Yeah,
to see.
yeah, I mean, I think that's the kind of interesting thing is that the sale A was done in the bull market. This public sale is being done at a total different, we've got this different macroeconomic world we're living in than we did, say, 6 to 8 months ago. So yeah, I guess we'll kind of see how it all turns out. But we've seen a lot of interest. We've got a ton of signups. I should mention though that like the token sale is restricted in some jurisdictions. Sadly, if you are a burger eating American, you are totally canned from being able to participate in the sale. Sadly, your government hates freedom. So I hate to break it to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've had to shut off a few countries and basically say like it's not worth the risk. It's too uncertain in there in those areas, and the talking legal heads say just avoid. So I think that's the other thing too, like with regards to the public sale. A good portion of our users are American, and sadly they can't participate. They can of course go purchase on the DEX. After the token generation event, the TGE. So, that's going to kick off within about a week after the completion of the sale. So in theory, there should be some supply of tokens available on verse.bitcoin.com sometime in December, and folks will be able to scoop those up. We won't have a CEX listing until probably, I guess it'd be about a month after the DEX listing. Basically the emissions contract, there's no cliffs in it. So we basically don't have like a big bag of tokens to work from to say like, okay, let's just pre-fund a bunch of CEXs with like, $5 million worth of tokens, right? It's like the emissions contract is basically starting from zero, and it's a block by block emission. So every 14 seconds or so on the Ethereum blockchain, every confirmation, more of the supply is released to the addresses in the allocation. So yeah, basically all of the team allocation, that's a 7-year vesting.
When does that start? When do people that purchased, like in the private sale, for example, when does that start unlocking? And where can you go to claim that?
Good question. So the token generation event will occur about a week after the public sale, and that means any of the private sale buyers, any of the public sale buyers, any of the team, any of the ecosystem allocation. So if you go into the white paper, you'll see that pie chart of like, I think it's 34 and 34 for ecosystem and development. And then we've got like, I think it's like 10% in the private sale. There's 6% in sale B. And then, so basically every one of those pieces of the pie in the pie chart will all start receiving tokens on day one of the token generation event. But it's all proportional to the amount that you've purchased, basically. So, and the vesting period, I should say. So sale A participants are vested at a 1 year. So that means that they'll receive tokens every 14 seconds for 1 year. So every 14 seconds, they could technically go log into this area on verse.bitcoin.com or on getverse.com. We're going to have a claim portal there, and they can hit the claim button, sign a transaction, pay a little bit of ETH gas, and then they'll receive some tokens. And basically, they're think of it as kind of like you might remember the paper wallet days of Bitcoin. It's kind of like doing a sweep. It's like you're sweeping the paper wallet every time you do that. But the paper wallets, like the best way I can kind of explain it to folks, and I figured this out the other day. It was explain it like I'm 5 analogy. We've got a big semi truck. Each of those, so that yellow pie chart, the blue one, the green one, those are all different trucks, right? We've got big semi truck trailer, and they all got these big gas tanks. And the emissions contract is just filling those up with gas. Some of them will be full. The full tank will be in 1 year. Some of them will have a full tank in 1.5 years. Some of them will have a full tank in 7 years. So basically, you can, as a user, if your tank is getting filled over, say, 1.5 years because you participated in the public sale, anytime you want, you can plug in a siphon, suck that little hose and spit some tokens into your wallet, and that'll occur every 14 seconds. So there's a constant stream of tokens coming into your tank, and then you can basically choose when you want to perform a little sweep or perform a siphon and kind of like move it into accessibility of like having it in your wallet. And this is kind of like the easiest way I can kind of explain it. I'm not sure if that's good enough, but
Yeah, it makes sense.
yeah. So first, for folks that have like a 1 year vesting, like in the sale A, there are no cliffs. So, if you go into other token sales, often you'll see like these big shock waves that hit the token emission. And you can see this in things like, actually, if you go to Masario, they've got like a great breakdown of different like token sales. And you can see like Avalanche token sale, and you can see that they had like different quarterly vesting. So it was like folks that participated in their sale A, I think were vested on a quarterly basis for, might have been like a year. And then their sale B was like vested at a quarterly basis for 2 years or something like that. And then there was like a secondary B thing that was like maybe 2.5 years. And it was like these quarterly unlocks. So every quarter you'd see these supply shocks. So as soon as they performed this unlock mechanism, you'd see all of these potential buyers just start dumping on the unlock date. So they'd receive some tokens, and then there's like this mad dash to go sell some tokens, right? And this kind of occurred, on these specific dates, and they were baked into their contract. What we did is say there's no dates. It's block by block, so there's always tokens coming in. And this basically softens the shock wave of the emissions and basically reducing that impact of like creating this mad dash to like have private folks sell, where they're just gonna, they can sell every day, they can sell every week, they can choose to just let their tank or their little siphon fill up for a month, and then same goes for public sale buyers. So they've got 1.5 years for public sale, so that's 18 months. If you waited 1 month to perform a claim or a siphon, or a sweep, or however you want to kind of think of it, that would be 1/18 of the total purchase that you've got. So, if we imagine that you're getting 1 million tokens, you would get what's 1 million divided by 18. My brain's fried here. Is that what, 555,000, something like that? That was 10 million. 55,000, something like that. You'd be, every month you might be claiming that. So it's something like 1/18. There's 18 months and 1.5 years. So every month you'd be able to claim 1/18 of your total purchase amount. Or you could do it every day, and that would be, I don't know how many days are in 1.5 years. 540, 540th, something like that. So yeah, it's basically just, you can do this claim on a regular basis.
Cool. So yeah, basically whenever the user wants to do it, they can. I'm not going to be doing it every day, but it's like too much work.
That's the thing. Like, yeah, it's a pain in the ass, right? So it's kind of like, and then in addition to that, you're paying some gas fees, right? So if you're a small buyer, you do have to consider, like, if you only purchase the minimum amount, and let's say it's $500, you got to make sure that the token value versus what you're claiming versus the gas fee is, keeping you profitable, let's say. So for some folks, they may only want to claim, a few times during the whole vesting period. For others who, don't care about ETH gas fees and stuff like that, they can claim every day. They might be paying a little bit more in ETH gas, but they'll be able to unlock more of their liquidity. And then the big thing that we're, encouraging folks to do is, like, as soon as you claim, you can go put that onto the Verse DEX and start earning some APY. There's going to be some additional token emission incentives tied to the LP. So anyone who's funding, say, the Verse ETH pair, they'll have this, token bonus through Verse. So anyone who's, let's say you've put in some, I don't know, you put in $100 worth of ETH and $100 worth of Verse, you'll get that LP token just like you would get on something like Uniswap or QuickSwap or MistSwap or BenSwap or any of these other things. And you'd get this LP token, which you can then stake into the farm and earn an additional APY through the token emissions. So the farms will be enabled not right after the sale, but shortly after. We'll have the claim portal up, and then following the claim portal, once we're sure it's all stable, we'll have the Verse ETH pool created. And then once we're sure everything's good there, then we'll eventually be enabling the farms. So it does kind of, it pays to get in, I'd say, into the LPs early. Statistically, the greater percentage of the LP pool that you hold, the more of the token emissions you will or the token rewards you would earn from the farm rewards. Lots of geek math in there if you can
Yeah.
figure that all out. Yeah.
So when can people actually start earning it as well? Is that going to happen after the token distribution or token generation or whatever you called it?
Yeah, exactly. So we're looking at probably early 2023. The earning capability is kind of tied to us securing a big enough bag. So, when the token generation emission, like basically when the smart contract happens where the tokens start getting released in the wild, we got nothing. So we can't reward anyone on day one. So it's kind of like we don't have a big enough bag to start rewarding our users. But once we've secured enough of the Verse token from the ecosystem and development funds, and can allocate those to the appropriate. We've got this grants thing coming out, and then we'll also be using this for farm rewards, and we'll be using this as well for the app rewards as well. So we're looking at probably early 2023. I can't give a specific date, but yeah, our team's hard at work on building out this whole reward mechanism. So yeah, it's fun stuff.
Very good. And so, what is the team planning to shift their focus to when the sale completes? I know you guys have got a bunch of other products lined up as well. Like on the website, it shows that there's a Bitcoin.com debit card. That's one thing that I'm pretty excited about. Also, I heard that something about a Launchpad.
Yeah. The hype is real, man. We're so actually, like, I mean, most of our team we're spread out across a few different projects. So it's not like we've got everyone just kind of like watching the screen right now on the token sale side of stuff. It's at this point that project is actually kind of wrapping up. There's just monitoring things and making sure it's all stable and good. But that same team has already moved on. They're building out some cool new features as well. They'll be working a little bit more on the web wallet, which you may have seen at app.bitcoin.com. We're kind of expanding some things there. But yeah, so like the team itself, there's of course the card team that's building out this new Bitcoin.com prepaid debit card. We've partnered with a major card company. I don't believe it's been published yet, so I don't think I'm allowed to use their name for some reason, because you know how those big names work.
Yeah.
They're all like, hey, we want to be secretive. But I mean, it's basically like one of three companies. So it's like, take a guess and you got a 33% chance of being right. So one of those companies took a big bet on us, and they're supporting our Bitcoin.com card, and we'll be launching that in the US. We're aiming for early 2023, and we're going to be tying in the Verse rewards into that as well. So there'll be some like reward incentives for users that are using their crypto to spend. And our thinking with the card is like, while it's in a perfect world, we would want users to actually use their crypto and spend it at merchants. That would be the ideal scenario, and I think merchants actually would benefit from that as well. But there's a lot of merchants that just well, you've done a lot of merchant onboarding. Some people just have a hard time adding additional systems into their, let's say, accounting process, or they struggle with wrapping their heads around some of the crypto side of stuff. And there's always going to be some places where they're just like, I just can't be bothered. There's maybe not enough users around to support maintaining some of this. So then it sort of becomes like, well, how can we still offer that same utility of like spend your crypto and make it user friendly enough for folks that are buying, Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash or Ethereum or just holding stable coins, to say, hey, you can actually use that to like buy diapers at your grocery store, even if the grocery store doesn't immediately accept crypto now. So, this is where we've got the card program, and then we can kind of create this this kind of like it's almost like the hybrid vehicle, right? Like if we say crypto adoption for merchants is like the Tesla, we would say the card is kind of the hybrid car. It's the Prius. It's gonna help tread the I guess carve a bit of a path to kind of hopefully support more and more adoption. And then any of the revenue that we're bringing in from the card, we can continue putting towards projects and products that support more economic freedom and bigger mission things over the next various years.
So when is that going to be becoming available? Next year as well?
Yeah, we're shooting for early next year. It's going to be a US launch first. And then we're already in talks with various partners about how we can get this global rollout. So, we're probably going to take like baby steps, right? Just like any other kind of project. If you've ever seen like, Revolut rollout, things like that, it's kind of like country by country or region by region. We're probably going to end up having to do the same thing. Sadly, when you're dealing with the card side of stuff, you're dealing with banks and you're dealing with like these, like, I shouldn't call them boomers, but they're boomers, man. There's like it's a lot of like slower. They operate at a different pace than crypto people, which are just like, let's go. And then you got these like other guys that are like, let's analyze this paper for 20 minutes and talk about this line. Maybe we could change the verbiage on this line. And it's like, so we do want to kind of support this like, hybrid car thing and get it out as fast as we can. I think our fast and their fast is always kind of at odds, but we've got some great partners that we're working with that are, come from a similar mindset as us and have some crypto background. So it seems like, we got a strong partnership that's going to help get this thing over the line. And then it's just a matter of pushing to get this rolled out in as many regions. We're hoping, we'll see more regions before the end of the 2023. I can't say exactly when like Australia or specific countries are coming, but basically we're pushing to be like, let's get it out as far and as wide as possible, as fast as possible. And I mean, like, yeah, this is kind of like an opportunity potentially for, any other global card program that wants to reach out to us that thinks they can help. Of course, you can always drop us a message, send me an email, send our support email, give us your pitch. If there's a way to get it out faster, of course, we're going to do everything we can. So,
Yeah, so I think the card is really good because, like, while crypto merchant adoption is pretty cool and all, like, I've said it before, I think that, as you mentioned, there's a number of issues for, like, the average person to begin accepting that, and they deal with price volatility and all this sort of thing. Also, for the crypto people that want to spend crypto, you have to go out there and onboard people to it if you want to spend it. So this is kind of like a win for both sides. Like, the crypto people can spend it, and the other merchant can just continue using their existing payment system. They don't even necessarily know that they're technically like accepting crypto because they're not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it also adds a whole lot more utility to the Bitcoin.com wallet, I would say, and those users of the wallet. And, like, they may not be a super hardcore crypto person, but I think that card is good because it will allow them to then go and spend it wherever they like, spend their crypto.
Yeah. I think like the multi-sided market problem of crypto adoption it's difficult. And I think it's going to happen with these like it's going to happen in these like local areas. And I mean, you were a big part of that in Townsville. We see Roger and Sunny in St. Kitts and Barbuda and areas like that where they're just onboarding. But it's like you kind of need these like local leaders and a local, like business community that's kind of taking this adoption stance. And I think it can still happen. Like, I'm still bullish on the idea of like, peer-to-peer cash being this like, it's like the OG dApp for crypto. And I still think that it's going to get there eventually. And we're seeing this, like, I think, you see all these new chains coming out. They're all focused on low fee. It's because they know that like high fee blockchain is stupid. Nobody like, it doesn't make sense for global adoption. Sure, it might be like uber secure, but if you've got uber secure but nobody's using it, it's like, cool, you made a really secure blockchain, bro, that nobody uses. But so you end up kind of like shooting yourself in the foot. And I think the peer-to-peer merchant adoption angle is still I think it's a hopeful opportunity in the future, and I think someone's going to crack it. There's a lot of companies working on making it easier. You got the guys like Go Crypto, you got guys like BitPay, you got many people focusing on like the merchant adoption side, and we're going to do everything we can to like continue to support them. We of course still have the Bitcoin Cash Register, which hundreds of thousands of people use around the world, and we've got a ton of adoption in areas like Australia and St. Kitts and even in Tokyo. So, the cards is just kind of like this great way to just spread the ability to use crypto globally, irregardless of like what your merchant, prefers. And I think that's the other hard thing too, that like these like merchants are going to have a tough time with, is like coin tribalism is a pain in the ass as a merchant. If they're just like, yeah, I'll take crypto, and they don't really care, they'll take anything. But then if like, I don't know, if you've got users that are like only saying like spend one because all these others suck, you're kind of like, just like, you're giving them too much information. They don't need to know everything. They don't need to be a part of crypto communities. They don't need to be a part of like crypto tribes. They don't need to say coin A is better than coin B. It's just like, so you're using crypto, cool. That's all that matters. Like if you're spending $4 fees, it's not great, but if you're cool with it, do it, man. Like, you're decentralized. That's cool too. It's just a matter of like preference, I think. But just going back, we've got the card thing coming out pretty soon. We do have teams working on like NFT integration into the wallet and into the web wallet. Maybe I can sneak peek you something here. Am I able to share my screen on this?
Yeah, you can. And yes, Bitcoin.com has the NFT with the public sale. So
yeah,
that was what you're referring to, right?
You got it.
But you're going to be able to view it in the Bitcoin.com wallet app. You're going to be able to view NFTs.
Yeah, let me know if you're seeing this screen share. So this is our Figma. So Figma's like it's like the Zoom or Photoshop that designers love. They all just love it. So okay, so like this is a early prototype. Our team is still working on this. It may change. All these disclaimers. Things may not be finalized in this way. We may name things different. We may change it around. But this is kind of our like working prototype, just to give you an idea where things may go. So, if you are a NFT holder, you will naturally have to hold those NFTs inside of Ethereum or an EVM chain wallet. So currently, you can see your list of transactions. You might pay your monthly rent, or you might be receiving some transactions. And then if we go into the NFT section, you would be able to view various collections. So you might have your Bored Apes, you might have your CryptoPunks, and you can scroll down and view your assets. You'd be able to switch into like a list view. You'd be able to switch, clicking into the NFT, you'd be able to bring up the NFT that you hold, see the token ID and the contract ID, view it on Explorer. There are some recent developments in the Apple terms of service, which have kind of, I don't know, some people are saying it's like, yeah, it's great. They've acknowledged that NFTs are a thing, but then Apple also, they're dicks, like, to put it bluntly. So basically we would be breaking terms of service if we had a button here that said, sell this NFT, or list it for sale, because they ain't getting a cut, they want their money. So the only way to kind of do that is we can send them probably to like go view it on OpenSea, where they can then use like a dApp to do the sell. But this is kind of one of the pain points, in my opinion, with still having these like centralized app stores, is that they call the shots. And at the end of the day, we can create a better user experience for NFTs and for crypto. But if we've got a gun to our head by Apple and Google saying you can't do it a certain way because, we wants our monies, then we're like creating inferior experiences to placate the dicks at Apple and Google, if I can put it bluntly.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that maybe they'll soften their stance, but who knows?
Is that just an Apple thing, or is Google taking a cut as well?
Well, Google's kind of the same way. Like if you do anything that alienates their cut, they potentially could delist your app. Like there's always that risk of them just being like, we don't like what you're doing, shut it down. So
at least with the Android Google phones, you can install apps outside of the App Store, so you don't have to rely on the App Store.
Yeah, but, like there's at least that ability to like side load if you need to, sort of thing. You see apps like Telegram doing that, where they're like, okay, you guys are imposing some crazy rules. Time to have the more degen version. that get you into the more spicy telegrams. Yeah.
So in the screenshots and the demo you just showed us, obviously that was Ethereum. Ethereum is the main platform where all the NFTs and everything are probably. But will it have that same functionality with other chains that you guys have in the app there?
Yeah. So I think we'll be rolling it out in stages as well. It'll kind of be like, let's get the ETH one going, make sure we're all good, roll it out on more EVM chains. But yeah, the goal is basically any EVM chain that supports NFTs, which as far as I know is all of them. We'll eventually have that NFT capability where we can pull that in. We'll be using some NFT indexers to again try to simplify that NFT thing where users hopefully don't have to like go in and like add a contract ID, because that's the current NFT experience for a lot of these apps is like, okay, you've got an NFT viewer, but then you need to somehow find the NFT contract ID, paste it in, wait for it to load up your things, and like be like, okay, look, I got my NFTs, but like nobody's gonna do that. So we're building out our own little like indexer to make sure that we're pulling in, different well-known, say, NFTs, and we'll do our best to make sure we can show all of them. There may still be a need for you to put in some like manual ones. If I don't know, you guys probably are aware that like OpenSea has a tendency of like banning NFTs that it doesn't like if they're too, I don't know, on the fringe. Let's say. I think Flirt. I think is it Flirt that got banned?
I'm not sure. I know they were also banning stuff that looked similar to other people's existing NFTs or something like that.
Yeah. So if we're not able to pull in things through like these third-party APIs, we may end up having to have like, hey, put in your contracts. You can still see your banned NFTs. We'll figure it all out.
Very good. And so I also heard something about a Launchpad.
Yeah.
Is that something you can discuss?
Yeah, I shouldn't discuss it too much because it'll piss a lot of people off, but I'm gonna do it anyways because it's fun. so okay. We've got this very valuable brand name and domain name and tons of users and tons of new eyeballs coming in. We've also got this ecosystem development grants that are going to be kicking off December, January of end of this year, early next year. So our goal with before I talk about the Launchpad, I should kind of mention the ecosystem side of things. So, we see a lot of great projects happening in different communities, right? Be that Ethereum or Avalanche or Polygon or Smart BCH or any of these things. You get these cool new ideas that come up, and they can come up from different avenues, from like hackathons to just like random people on the internet creating new ideas. And we want to be able to support them, beyond just like send them a tweet and be like, good job, guys. So within that, the ecosystem and community grants that we're going to be launching, there's going to be some budget set aside for supporting hackathons and kind of supporting some like mentorship and trying to I guess support those ideas to get them to a point where they're a product. So let's say you've got, I don't know, maybe your project is creating like better paper wallets for all chains or something like that. And, you've got a proof of concept, it's working, you built it out in a hackathon, you might win some money to kind of build the next version of it, get it to a point where it's like production ready. And we'll be there to like help support you with the Verse community grants. We'll be partnering up with some other big funds like Avalanche Blizzard Fund, the Polygon, maybe even some other big names across like I can't say too much. So but various other bigger names, let's say, and other big names that are known for supporting hackathons and things like that. So we want to get those ideas to a point where they're production ready and they're potentially their own product, right? We want to support, I guess, innovating and incubation of new ideas into this product kind of world that we all live in. Once they get to a point where they perhaps want to launch their own token, this is an opportunity where we've been supporting them through hackathons and mentorship, and we would then encourage them to launch their token on Bitcoin.com, and they have every incentive to do that. That we've got tons of eyeballs. There's probably something very nice about being able to say, hey, I'm launching my token and my project on Bitcoin.com. Has this perceived, say, importance that maybe launching on like Bob's Launchpad DAO doesn't really have that same oomph,
Yeah,
if I can
I
put
know
it that way,
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So our goal then is that those projects, in order to launch on the Bitcoin.com Launchpad, will be paying us as well in Verse token in order to access the legal rubrics that we've got with our legal team, the marketing support, the eyeballs that they'll get from Bitcoin.com, and the 35 million wallets that we've got within the Bitcoin.com ecosystem. This is an area as well where we can start, letting our other, users that are participating in the current Verse token sale, they may also want to participate in other token sales. And, we want to make sure that if they're doing that, they have every opportunity to, and they can, learn more about those projects. And if they're ones that we've already kind of been supporting through hackathons and mentorship, then we have a pretty good idea that they're not a rug pull. They're probably real people. They're probably smart, passionate, eager to build. And, this again kind of creates almost like a bit of a flywheel where we're investing in the community, and then the expected return is that eventually they'll come launch their Launchpad through us. And that's an opportunity for us to, charge some additional, say, Verse, and also, build out some sale mechanisms across Bitcoin.com where we can kind of grow the community, support more projects. I think like we've seen, you've seen things like Flipstarter on BCH, or you see things like Git grants on Ethereum. There's like these different like funding mechanisms that exist, but they all kind of live in their own little bubble of like community development. And I think a lot of them have a hard time breaking out from like community toy to product. And I think that's where we can help them. Like, community toys are fun, but we want to see more community toys turn into products that potentially make them revenue, potentially support more utility across crypto, potentially have their own token, and build out, a bigger ecosystem where we can, nurture their users and nurture our users into their products. And I mean, like, on Bitcoin.com, we've got this fire hose of like new users coming into Bitcoin every day. We can point at new projects. We can point at Web3 projects. We can point at NFT projects. We can point at new startups. And it's just like, we want to help new projects, and we want to ensure that those users are onboarded properly and can level up to a point where they're like, yeah, I'll take your little paper wallet, product for a spin. And if it costs me $1, cool. But I was able to, create 100,000 paper wallets that I can go make it rain across, some country. Cool. Do it.
Cool. Well, I think one good thing about like a Launchpad is that if they're going to be buying Verse tokens, then it helps support the price and just adds more utility there for Verse tokens. And so holders of that are going to benefit probably as well as a result. But let's get to some audience questions, because I've been letting a few collect here, and then we can probably start to wrap things up. So first of all, there's one guy here, Reformed Bugman, and he's asking about basically, are you concerned about the fact that he thinks Verse is a security? And he's wondering, are you concerned about that you might get in trouble? Also, you're conducting the sale in US dollars?
No. We're not a security. We're a reward utility. This whole conversation we've been having has been in discussion around the reward utility aspect of it. We passed the Howey test. All of our legal advisors and legal team have ensured that we're not a security. Not only that, but we're not selling to the US, which is the only place that would potentially have any grounds to make some area just be like, that's what you're doing. But folks are, we're basing it in USDC, we're basing it in USDT, we're accepting Bitcoin, we're accepting Ethereum. Frankly, they don't really have a leg to stand on. So not a security as defined in the white paper. We are a reward utility token. And yeah, I mean, you can use the token from day one. The product already exists. This isn't a future. This isn't a promissory note for future development. We've got the products already in existence. We've got the users already in existence. We've got the utility already baked in. So yeah, I mean, if we are a security, they better go after air miles. Put it that way.
Yeah. Then we got Dino Pawns over here. He's asking about the card. What are the fees going to be to use the card? And in addition to that, I'm interested to know, like, is using the card something that you're going to be earning Verse on?
Yeah, so actually the fees we have not published yet. We're just finalizing all of that. We're doing our best to make sure that all the fees are, like, what we found out with a lot of other card programs is that the fees are often like not very transparent. So you go to look at something like a crypto.com, and I mean, they got in their own little trouble where they're promising these high APY returns. They were also building out a lot of, like, I don't know, I'd say just like there's a lot of strange things that going around their card. I don't want to badmouth them too much because, in my opinion, it was good that they did that. It's an example of what not to do. So we know what not to do. So we're gonna do everything we can to make sure that the fees and everything are completely transparent for anyone who's signing up for the card. Yeah, there'll be like a digital card first. So if you've ever had a virtual card or a virtual prepaid card, that you can add that into your Google Pay or your Samsung Pay or your Apple Pay or Apple Wallet or whatever they call it, to be able to tap to pay immediately. We'll be shipping plastic as well afterwards. So yeah, this is going to be all tied to the Verse rewards. So yeah, if you're using the card regularly, you're paying rent with the card, you're topping, you're adding, I don't know, gas to your car, all of those spends that you'll be doing with the card will be calculated in our backend to basically ensure that you're eligible to claim more Verse rewards thanks to your utility across our products. So same thing as like any of these other, if you've ever used, like, I don't know, like a Visa or MasterCard that has cash back, you spend it within a day or so, you usually get these rewards. You get a notification to say, hey, you've earned 1% cash back, or you've earned complimentary lounge access because you did so much spend in this month, something like that. So yeah, those are all kind of details that we'll be sharing very, very soon. But yes, users using the card will earn more Verse. Yeah, great opportunity to just kind of hold more crypto. Since you can actually use it, you'll be able to top up with any of the cryptocurrencies that we support in the wallet. So yeah, I think right off the bat we'll have Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, and I believe we're shooting to have some stable coins as well supported right away. We'll be adding more support in ongoing, just like everything we're doing. It's kind of like iterative, make sure everything's good, add more, iterate, add more, things like that. But yeah, we'll be sharing a lot more details on the card very soon. There's going to be some press releases coming out very soon. I believe the website landing page, which includes a little bit more information, will be coming out quite soon. And yeah, we'll be doing a big marketing push around that once we can start giving some timelines.
And so can users probably expect as well to have like various different levels or tiers of your card depending on the amount of Verse that you're holding?
Yeah. So this is one of the other things we're building, and we've got working already, is the staking capability, where if users are staking Verse, they're gonna be able to have enhanced account upgrades. So that account upgrade may also entitle you to, say, a better fee or a better card. It may not be a plastic card. You may be able to get a metal card and get some of the more kind of OG flex things that we can kind of do around being a staker. So if you're a staker, you may get some premium features across the Bitcoin.com account, and that may enable you to earn more. That may enable you to save more on fees. That may enable you to participate in different areas that are going to be restricted only for stakers. And basically, we're really trying to bridge that gap of like IRL and online, trying to find like a nice a nice happy medium. So yeah, we'll have some more announcements on all of those kind of like tiers, but we'll be, just like I said, we often kind of believe in this like shipping cycle of like, let's get the skateboard out, let's get the bicycle out, and don't go right into car. You're just going to have a shitty car. So we're just iterating our way to having arguably one of the best card programs in the world. So no.
I'm looking forward to it. Another question from Dino Pawns, and then that's it for now.
Sure.
So he's asking, did you guys also plan to build an NFT marketplace?
Yeah, you know what? This was like one of the things we kicked around for a little while. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to do it right away. I wouldn't even say anytime soon. Like, we've talked about it. At this point, there's just so much competition.
Seems like you've already got too much on your plate as well anyway.
Yeah.
So you've got to focus on the other stuff first before you can start thinking about other things.
Yeah, like we, there's a lot of great NFT marketplaces out there, and it's sort of like, we've seen what Coinbase did. They put a lot of money and time into that thing, and it's struggling. So great example of what not to do. So it's like, I think the appetite for NFTs will grow, but I think it's kind of, the market is pretty saturated right now. We're probably going to see more NFT marketplaces puke all over their pants and then die. Some of them just aren't going to make it. Some of them are going to grow. I don't think that's like an area that we can, that we should necessarily be putting resources in right now. Who knows, maybe a few years from now, things will be way different. But I think in the current marketplace, there's just like, it's just highly saturated. And I think there's already folks that are doing some really interesting things. And I think the whole auction model around NFT marketplaces is kind of like, I don't know, it doesn't feel as decentralized as like it could be. Like, if you guys have ever checked out SudoSwap, it's one of the coolest things I've seen in the NFT space for a little while. It's like bonding curve. It's like, think of it like a DEX for NFTs. So you have this like bonding curve of NFTs. It's the coolest thing ever. But like, I think there's like still innovations happening in the NFT space that don't necessarily mean they have to be like a marketplace or an auction house, let's say. It could be something more like a swap, or it could be something new. So I think we're just going to kind of sit and wait and watch. We'll support which ones we can. We'll be working with various partners as well. Like, we do have some plans for partnerships with marketplaces, especially those that are open to integrating Verse as a payment method or supporting Verse in some way. So that's always an opportunity for marketplaces to come to us to say, here's what we can do. We want to tap into that Bitcoin.com audience, and here's how we're going to integrate Verse. Of course, come hit us up. We'd love to chat. But yeah, that's kind of like where we currently stand, is like, not going to build one. There's a lot of other people doing it, and they're doing a great job right now. So there's just no need.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good decision. And plus, like, at least if you guys have got the ability to view your NFTs in your Bitcoin.com wallet, I think that's more than what most people would want. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, I think let's call it a day here. We've been going for nearly an hour and a half. But
sure.
We got a lot of information out there, so I'm pretty happy with that. And
yeah. If you got any viewers, come check out getverse.com. It's live right now. You can go purchase. You do have to pass KYC. Apologies for that. Again, we're grown-ups now. We're all compliant and above board, and we never say,
Well, at least you don't need it to use the wallet itself, right? Because it's non-custodial.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's kind of the necessary evil at this point. But yeah, if you're able to get through KYC, come participate. Minimum purchase is $500. The token emission will happen after the completion of the sale, which is either going to be 30 days after the start, which is end of November, or if we end earlier, we'll be notifying folks in Discord and Telegram. You can go trade right now on verse.bitcoin.com. On Ethereum and on Smart BCH. We'll be adding some more chains there very soon. Make sure you got the Bitcoin.com wallet. Make sure you've actually used it too. There's very, some alpha in there. And Yeah, I think like we're just kind of focused on making sure we're building up that reward utility across the board. And I think it's a great opportunity for folks who are already using our wallet to come support and help us grow out the community. I think in the bear market, this is the opportunity for everyone to kind of say, multi-chain isn't going anywhere, and I think tribalism isn't conducive to growth, let's say, for the masses. Nobody wants to walk into a room where there's a monkey shit fight. So, let's make sure we're all kind of peaceful, getting along. And I think if you guys want to come get along and hang out, help us grow out the Verse community so that we've got like some good vibes around NFTs and around the token and around what we're building at Bitcoin.com and around other projects we can support. We invite you guys in and come have some fun.
Sounds really enticing. So yeah, good luck with the public sale. And to everyone watching the stream, make sure you share this video and subscribe. And if you want to get Verse, go to getverse.com.
You can also go to Bitcoin.com. It's all on there too. We got links everywhere. We're not shy with sending people there right now.
All right, sounds good. We'll end it there.
Cool.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome.